So another week and another opportunity to visit a car boot. Only 2 weeks left of car boot sales before the season officially ends. At least it is on my Sunday boot sale. I'm sure I can find another one. My Saturday boot sale tends to run all year round, providing the weather is fine. And the weather, at the moment anyway, is fine. It's very nice. In fact, it's a little too nice. It's bringing more people to the field than I would like, but competition is part and parcel of buying and selling, but also collecting video games. There are more and more people doing it these days, and I can whinge about it all I want, but I just need to get out there. I need to be first. I need to find things maybe other people wouldn't necessarily look for, and I just need to be lucky at the end of the day, because that's what it comes down to. You can know everything there is to know about video games, but you do need that element of luck. Did I get lucky today? Not really, to be fair. I mean, I guess in a way, maybe I kind of did, and I'll show you that in just a second. Today, we actually look to make profit. The series is going relatively well. We are spending money on games, but we are in a minus. We need to make some money back, and I'm hopefully anyway going to be able to do that today. Let's dive into some boot sale footage, have a little look around and see what there was to pick up. Let's do this rapid fire. So these games right here, nothing that really interested me, so I decided to leave it. Walked over to another stall that I think I'd already been to the week before. Some of these games left in here, mainly sports titles that people had left from the week before. And then we come to this. Now this was one of those house clearance people. There was a dartboard on the floor, which I was very tempted by. If you didn't know, dartboards can go for some decent money, especially ones in cases. But I was more looking for video games today, trying to get some things into the collection, some content. There were some controllers off to my left that I do briefly look at. They were pretty badly damaged. The wires were torn. This PlayStation 4 controller was rattling and there was no triggers, so I left it. None of the games really spoke to me either. Moving on to what looked like a video game reseller. I guess he had loads of consoles and games dotted around the place. I'm guessing I could have got some games at a fairly decent price, but they were mainly all sports titles. You've seen this in a previous video. This was £15 boxed. I say boxed, it was just a random box obviously, but a Wii. It was probably working at all the connectors and everything. Wii Sports was not present, unfortunately. It was Wii Play in there. It may have been in the console, but for 15, I decided to walk away. And then we come to a few random games on the side of this stall. They had a little bit of everything on the go. Some FIFAs up on the table there, the PS4 variety, and then we had some 360 and some PS3 with a few Wii games dotted around the place. In hindsight, I wish I'd picked up the SpongeBob game. It was £2 on the Wii. I don't know whether that's decent or not, but I decided to leave it. So, Saints Row the Third on the Xbox 360 for 50p. Why? Well, why not? It's 50p. It's not going to break the bank. It does put us more into a minus, but we'll sort that out in just a second. I'm pretty sure the people who made this have just gone out of business like a couple of weeks ago. There were a few other games there, some PS3 games in particular, that I was tempted by, but I don't just want to buy things for the sake of it. I don't want to buy the PlayStation 3 games just for them to be sat on the shelf for me to never play them. That Xbox 360 game will go into the collection, but at some point I will throw it on and I will give it a go. So back in we go, some more Wii stuff here. I was hoping for some Wii remotes and things, or maybe the games were a little bit better than they were. I was kind of hoping that Zumbo was like a Mario Party 8 or something. These were £2 each, but I already have that in the collection, didn't need the others. Moved on to this stall, 50p a game, which is pretty good, really. Even if these games are £1 or £2 in CEX, if you can pick them up for 50p in a boot sale and they are pretty scratch free, you're in, I would say, a good place. I looked at this and it was a bundle copy, and I'm not a massive fan of them, so I did go to put it back. And then I picked up WWE Raw on the Xbox, which I'm pretty sure is an exclusive. No manual, but I am looking to pick up some original Xbox. There was nothing else there that I really wanted, so I decided just to walk away with a couple of games. I did say this Halo Reach would have been a purchase of mine had it not had the bundle copy in it. Well, I bought it anyway. Not a massive fan of the fact that the disc is the bundle copy disc and then you have the actual manual and the actual game. But this is not an expensive game. If I want to go to CEX, it's going to cost me a couple of quid, but this was 50p, as was WWE Raw on the original Xbox. Now, this doesn't come with a manual, unfortunately, but again, it was 50p, and I do want to start picking up some original Xbox games. Why not start with an absolute classic? And I say that as if I've played it. I haven't. In fact, I'm pretty sure this was exclusive to the original Xbox. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been a port of another WWE game that they just sort of slapped Raw on the front and said exclusive to Xbox. I really don't know, but I used to love the old wrestling games, you know, the original ones on the PS1, and then as we moved through to SmackDown on the PS2. I loved all of those games, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to really enjoy this, and I've always really wanted to give it a go. So for 50 pence, up £1 in total, 2 games to go into the collection. And then the console of today's episode was an Xbox 360. This is an e-console. We already have one of these. I got a good deal from Cash Generator or Regenerate, whatever they are. He wanted 20 for that, which, to be fair, if working, not bad. Comes with a controller and a power supply. I didn't know if it was working, and I didn't have any signal to look it up. How much it goes for broken, I don't know. That is the question you need to ask yourself, because just because they say it's working doesn't mean it is. If this is about 15, 20 quid broken, faulty, it might have been worth a gamble. Moving on to an IKEA bag full of random stuff. Some PS4 games in there, but it's all FIFA, Star Wars and Rocket League, which of course is worthless. Another Wii, which I decided to leave. And then this store, which I've only now realised as I was recording this, that is a PS4 copy of Red Dead. Might be Red Dead 2, might be the first one, maybe you need 2 discs, I can't quite remember. But I just completely disregarded it. I just looked at it as a PS3 game. These are all PS3 games. He wanted anywhere between 3 and 8, and they were all different prices, so he obviously knew what he had more or less. So I didn't buy any of these, but I kept throwing that PS4 disc out of the way. And I probably should have bought it for £1, or at least tried to look it up to see if it was just one disc I needed. Moving on to these games, these were all £4 each. One of them is FIFA. I don't know if they're ever going to sell. PES 6 for £4. I don't know if they're ever going to sell these. They're probably going to be there in weeks to come, but needless to say, I did not buy them. As I was leaving, I saw this trader setting up. He had some games. I didn't ask him how much they were, because traders tend to be fairly spot on. It would have been worth an ask, to be fair, so I do regret not doing that. And then a couple of pickups that I didn't get footage of. This was on the way out. It was one stall, and I did pretty well here, so we are going to be able to make some money back in this series. Fingers crossed we can actually get into a plus, and you're going to have to take my word for it that I got them at the price that I did. I say one stall, it was 2 stalls right next to each other. The first one had video games, the next one was full of DVDs and Blu-rays and some other knickknacks from around the house, and I spotted something on the floor that I know personally sells for money. Before we get to that though, let's talk through the games. So again, 50 pence each. Ghost, not one but 2 of them on the Xbox 360 Steelbooks. I mean, they're in okay condition. I don't think I can trade them. They don't have a barcode or anything. The discs are So just to show you, because Ghost is a 2-disc game, the install and the play disc is in that one, and it's the same for the second one as well. So as you can see, I do have both discs, and they are disc 1 and disc 2. They're not in amazing condition. Like I said, I don't think they're trade worthy, but I'm almost certain that they'll play without any issue. I don't really want to keep them, so I think I'm going to try and sell them. If I can get £5 a piece for them, for example, I will take it. The other thing I got, which I thought was a pretty good pickup, is Black Ops 2 for 50 pence. Wow, that's amazing. It's too good to be true. It kind of is, because it's just the case. I saw it and I got really excited, and I said how much before I even opened it. She said 50 pence. Didn't tell me there wasn't a disc in it. I opened it to have a look, and there wasn't a disc in it. And I said, oh, there's no disc in this. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, and went to take it off me to like chuck it in the bin or something. And I said, oh, I'll take it anyway. And I gave her 50p for it. Maybe she was a bit confused why anyone would buy an empty case for 50 pence. But that is an £18 game if you have the disc. The disc is actually not as expensive to buy online as I thought it would be. I thought I'd buy it anyway, because you never know, someone might actually want this and pay a £5 for it. Turns out I can get the disc cheap enough. In fact, it's in my local shop ready for me to pick up, because yes, I went on Vinted and I bought one. I think it was about £3 all in, and like I said, it is in the shop waiting for me to pick it up. The guy I bought it off said it was in pretty good condition, and I'm guessing it's going to be trade worthy. I may keep it for the time being, but that was 50p. The game was about £3. So Black Ops 2 for £3.50. When I go and pick up the game, because I'm being lazy, I will show you in the next episode. So if after fees I can make, I don't know, £7, let's just say for a really rough amount, back on those ghosts, then I'll be very, very pleased. We spent £3 at the boot sale on those games, and then of course I do have another £3 spent on Black Ops, so we're looking at £6 spent in total, and a couple of games going into the collection. So we are going to minus £6 off, and then then we're going to make that back kind of in the Ghost. So we are more or less breaking even on that purchase, but we're not done. Because on the very next stall, there were a lot of Blu-rays. Now, generally, Blu-rays don't tend to sell for an awful lot unless you can get box sets. If you can get box sets of later seasons of like sitcoms or dramas or something, they can go for money. And there are definitely Blu-rays that are worth money. Those rarer like Arrow video releases of horrors and stuff, they can go for some decent money. But what I tend to look for, because it's much easier, and this is my CEX strategy as well, is steelbooks. If you can find a steelbook, especially if it's sealed, you are generally on to some money. And the person I bought these off wanted a $5. I bought 3 of them, not $5 each, $5 for the whole lot. The Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, or An Unexpected Journey in 3D. And like I said, it is sealed. So this part of it is sealed. And then the slipcover obviously isn't, but it is it called Lenticular? Martin Freeman's character. I've only watched The Hobbit once. It might be blasphemy. I've watched Lord of the Rings loads, just for some reason only The Hobbit once. And then of course Gollum there as well. But I do really like that. It's not worth an awful lot. I might get £10 for that if I'm lucky. But this was effectively £1 because the steelbooks were £2 each. Following the theme, this one is a steelbook, but it is The Hobbit once more. We have Gandalf on the front, of course, and it is the Desolation of Smaug, if that's how you say it. Again, 3D, still has the security seals on it, all nice and sealed. I would question why this is still sealed. You know, why was this person selling sealed things? Because these weren't the only sealed things he had. A lot of the Blu-rays he had were sealed. And if he wasn't as, I wouldn't say expensive, because I don't think paying £2 for a sealed steelbook, regardless of what it is expensive. But if he was cheaper, like 50p a Blu-ray, I would have bought a lot there. Just gambled. But as he was going for about £1 each, and then he had £2 on the steelbooks, if I bought loads, I would have been gambling with the profit. If they were 50p each, it might have been worth it. But that right there, again, maybe £10-12 if I'm lucky. It's not worth as much as I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. I'm sure if I kept hold of that for longer, it would be worth more. When it comes to steelbooks, horror steelbooks and sealed horror steelbooks in particular, regardless of what the film is really, will go for a lot more. The Conjuring, for example, those can go for 90 quid, the original steelbook. It's crazy. Even the most recent is around 25 to 30 quid. This one, 10 to 12. Not amazing, but still profit. And then finally, the steelbook that actually caught my eye in the first place, Sausage Party. I know a lot of people don't like this film. I think it's pretty good. A lot of decent little childish innuendo type jokes.
My kind once had a pristine isle, majestic and untouched.
Steelbook edition, again sealed, and again this was effectively £2. I paid £5 for the whole thing. So this is actually a far more expensive one. This is more £15-16. In fact, that's my price and I'm undercutting. So I think the cheapest you can get it for is like 20, 22, and I've gone under that. So hopefully that should sell pretty soon. And altogether, I'm looking at getting around 30 to 35 for all of these, and I think that's pretty achievable. I'm not in any rush to sell them. They will sell when they sell. These will go well at Christmas. They're sealed. It's a nice, quick and easy purchase for someone. It's an easy pack for me. I don't need to worry about packaging it up and just go straight into a padded envelope and away it goes. But people love this stuff around Christmas because you can't go into the shop and buy the majority of these anymore. And if you can, HMV charge like 25, 30 quid each. And it's just easy to pick it up on Vinted or eBay. So if I'm waiting till November, December, so be it. 30 to 35 from a £5 spend is pretty good. I will add that to the like £6 profit or something that I would imagine that the Ghost steelbooks are going to get me, and we'll whack that on to the profit in the series. And just like that, in one boot sale, without really making that many purchases and spending that much money, we are now, I think anyway, in a profit. And not only do we have a profit, we have these games to go into the collection as well. Like I said, I will show you the disc of that in the next episode. I'm just being lazy and I haven't picked it up yet. Saints Row, Halo Reach, and Wrestling on the original Xbox. I still need to head into CEX to see what they have on offer. It's been a little while since I've had a little mooch around, so look out for that this week because I will get that done. If you want to check out a video from where I did have a little look around CEX, you can click there. And until the next time, goodbye.